Brigid Connor glanced to her right and saw the shadow of a mountain at her shoulder. "Are you sure we know what we're doing here?" The mountain looked down. "Do we ever?" Brigid shrugged. "Fair point." "Just give us your stuff and you can go," the scrawny human holding the gun said. The two men at the end of the alley were very convinced that the two people in evening wear, whom they'd taken for tourists, were clueless and would hand over their wallets now that they'd been cornered by menacing humans. The men had heard the heavy accents, seen the two strangers looking at a map of downtown. An honest-to-goodness map. Who used a map these days? Had to be stupid foreign tourists. "The Stress doesn't have a single place to carry a gun," Brigid said. "Can't believe I didn't think of that." "We're going to a gallery opening," the mountain, also known as her mate, Carwyn, spoke casually. "Admittedly, the New York art scene has been described as murderous, but who wouldn't assume that was a metaphor?" The men exchanged glances. The foreigners in the evening clothes didn't seem worried. "We said," the stockier human stepped forward and raised his firearm, "hand over your stuff! Do that and nobody gets hurt!" Brigid saw the dull black barrel the human pointed at her and cocked her head. "Oh, hello, my pretty. Is that a Kimber 9mm? That's a step up from the usual, isn't it? Carwyn, look at this." Carwyn was starting to squirm in the dress clothes he'd been forced to don for the evening. "I've never had your penchant for firearms, darling girl. Can't tell one from the other. Bang, bang, ow. That's roughly the extent of my firearms acumen." "I'm just saying." What was she thinking? They were wasting time. She pulled her gaze from the lovely pistol and looked at the man holding the gun on her. "Listen, before I give you my purse, can I grab my lighter from my pocket?" She laid her Irish accent on thick. "See, it was me own dear Dawes, and he's passed and it's the last thing I have of his. It's not dear or anything of the sort, but if you could just—" "Fine!" The robber relented, no doubt just a little nervous that the extremely large man behind her didn't seem anxious in the least and was inching closer as every moment passed. Carwyn kicked at the asphalt. "Brigid, my love." "Yes, dear?" Brigid made a show of looking through her small purse. "One thing I've noticed about these New York alleys, they really have a lot of potholes." "Is that so?" Her fingers closed around the lighter. "All the way down to the mud? Is that what you're saying?" The second man was getting nervous. "Will you two shut up and hand over—" "Found my lighter." Brigid's fingers closed around the cool metal. "About time." At once, Brigid dropped her purse and flicked the lighter open as Carwyn fell to the ground, one arm shooting out to catch her handbag, as the other hand pushed into the pothole where he'd been kicking asphalt. Brigid braced herself for the quick jolt as Carwyn's elemental power hit the earth beneath her feet. It threw both the humans holding guns off balance. She hit the lighter and caught the flame in her hand, feeding it until she held twin balls of fire. "Guns are less noticeable in this country." She advanced on the two humans and smiled, letting her fangs drop. "But they're not the only weapon I have." The two men started screaming. They threw their guns at Brigid, who tossed the amber gold fireball in the air and caught the Kimber. "Come to me, my pretty," she cooed at the abused 9mm, letting the other gun clatter to the ground. "Carwyn." "One more," he grunted, and the ground rolled again. The two men curled into themselves as Brigid flung the other fireball toward them, letting the flames spread and dissipate close enough to burn their eyebrows, but not to harm them any more than that. Carwyn rose, one hand filthy with mud and grime, the other holding the sparkly purse she'd borrowed for the evening. "There you go." He glanced at the gun. "And look at that. Your new pistol might just fit." "What a lad you are." Brigid rose to her toes and kissed him. "Smart move, marrying you." She pointed her chin at the two humans. "What shall we do with these two?" "We're going to be late as it is, and I've got to find some place to clean up a bit." He looked down. "It's a good thing this suit is dark gray.